Welcome back to another week of Gacha news on the 5-9 Gaming Network. I'm your co-host Nolar, and I'll be starting us off. A reminder to all our reviewers that if you were enjoying the content, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to stay up to date with all things 5-9. Let's get going. Revue Starlight is going to have a collaboration with Steins Gate. The event will feature characters from Steins Gate and limited time rewards tailored to the crossover. Rinotaro Okabe from the series will be featured during the event and will have voice lines provided by his official voice actor, Mamoru Miyano. The voice acting won't be included at release though. It's reported to be added on at a later date. Currently, the only rewards announced are unique titles that can be acquired during the collaboration for a limited time. The collaboration just started yesterday, March 17th, for JP players. Unfortunately, no word for the event coming to versions outside of JP. We have another piece of collaboration news, this time with Amnesia In The Sky, and it's a crossover with 7 Deadly Sins. For those unaware of Amnesia In The Sky, it's a role-playing game by M-Style. In the game, you collect heroes which players battle and level up with. The game features single-player and cooperative modes, with some that can even be done 10v10. There's unique customizations options available as well. Each player can select their own avatars and customize expression, hairstyles, and clothes to show off their personality. During the collaboration period with 7 Deadly Sins, Skystones and Gacha coins are up for grabs via login bonuses. The crossover event just started recently, so those interested still have time to participate. That being said, the game is JP exclusive, so to play it outside of Japan, you'll need to download the game from QApp or have a VPN handy. Speaking of QApp, to play Code Seed Seihi no Uto on global, players have to use the QApp to download this title. The game went through some trouble after developer HF Dog Studios shut down temporarily because of the pandemic. The developer promises to keep the game going until the very last player is offline with new content on the way. New content includes new UI, characters, and animations. The game itself takes place during the apocalypse where players fight against zombies utilizing the world's greatest defense, and you guessed it, it's anime girls, who are called Seed Fire Soldiers. The gameplay follows traditional turn-based RPG rules with a twist. To attack, you'll need to match 3 skill slots of a particular attribute to form a set. Each of the full soldiers come with their own attributes, adding a lot of possibilities. The game has a construction system where players build safe zones against zombies. As you battle, the safe zone will expand, removing risk factors, increasing safety of the camp. There's also an exploration mode where players choose paths, and depending on the path chosen, you can run into materials or a horde of zombies. Regardless of your luck, the goal is to reach the end to bring your people home to safety. Right now, there's a special event being called the White Day. In the event, players team up with Seed Fire Bishijo to defeat enemies. Those who complete the event will be rewarded with special items used to redeem a limited White Day skin for 4-star character Hannibal, as well as some extra benefits. To play Code Seed Seihi no Uta, users must download it via QApp, which is only available for Android devices. Danmachi Memoria Freese is having collaboration with Date Alive 3. If you've never heard of Danmachi Memoria Freese, allow me to explain. It's a mobile RPG for the popular anime called Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? The game features exclusive stories written by series creator Funijo Omori, voice actors from the anime, PvP battles, unlockable costumes, and much, much more. For the crossover event, characters from Date Alive will be appearing like Kaguya and Lily Ruka, Kotori Itsuka, Tuka Yatogami, Origami Tobichi, and lastly, Kurumi Tokisaki. I butchered those. It is what it is. The game itself is available for regions such as North America, Europe, and Asia for Android and iOS. Believe it or not, the Chinese version of the game is the last version to have this event, and even Global had it a while ago. With that said, to participate in this crossover event, players must be on the Chinese version. Dragon Blaze 2 Knights of Vedas, the sequel to Dragon Blaze by Flint, was just announced this week on March 15th. The South Korean developer showed some illustrations of the game's world and story. In the game, players take control of the last knight empowered by the God of War. The story focuses on the player revealing the truth of the world while on the hunt for 12 fallen Knights of Vedas. There hasn't been too many details on the gameplay at this point, but there were mentions of a co-op system allowing players to tackle dungeons together. If you're eager to see more of the game, you won't have to wait long. There will be a promotional video coming out on March 19th. Fantasy RPG Caravan Stories is getting a collaboration with The Rising of the Shield Hero. The crossover event will specifically focus on the second season of the anime and will feature characters like Naofumi Iwatani, Raphtalia, and Philo. And the event has started the 16th for mobile and PC users and PS4 version starting on the 23rd. A Nintendo Switch version of the game is also in the works, which is supposed to release today in Japan. Currently, the only versions available to play are for Korea, China, and Japan, so global players will have to use a VPN or QApp to play. With that said, that ends my portion. Off to my partner, Sly.
Thanks a lot, Nalar. Palkia's legendary event on Pokemon Masters has gotten a rerun, and Palkia has gotten a Sync Grid update, alongside a maxed out Sync move and potential levels. And with this update, he went from being below average to a monster. His Sync Grid gave him quite the buff. The first node being Critical Focus 2, which increases his critical hit rate by 2 stages when the user lands a critical hit. The next node that helps out Palkia is Hydro Pump Ramming Speed, which increases the damage his moves do as his speed increases, which he can max out himself with his ability New World Order. And the last node that helps Palkia out the most is Healthy Healing, which gradually heals the user when entering the field with full HP. Combine all of these together with May's Rain Dance and Blue's tankiness, and you have a recipe for a very powerful water team. A quick reminder that Champion Iris released today, alongside a new story event called The Shining Heart of Dragons. Big news coming out of Square Enix this week, we have some information for Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. In this game, we will be getting content that is not in the original game of Final Fantasy VII. Alongside this, we will also be getting story chapters that will be regularly updated, with the original story of Final Fantasy VII being about 10 chapters long in Ever Crisis. So what is Gacha news without news about gachas? In Ever Crisis, there will be a gacha system for summoning weapons, so the characters will be acquired freely by playing the game, much like Square Enix's other Final Fantasy gacha game, Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. This game will also be tackling the story of the first soldier and more. JP Grand Cross has a quiet week this week. We will be getting a new final boss event with Gila and Jericho. This final boss will be the first to introduce the new mission system they implemented. However, as this is labeled an event final boss, there is no special outfit for either of them, unfortunately. The rewards in the exchange shop are the standard materials for final boss stages, just without any cosmetics to pick up. Alongside this maintenance, we will also be getting a new guild boss for Season 4. No information on what this boss will do as of yet, so stay tuned for more details. Lastly, there will be a village donation event, so 1 million gold donated will get you 1 SSR pendant, which can be done across all 6 villages for a total of 6 SSR pendants. So if you have the gold to spare and are in need of pendants, now's your chance to pick up a few. Dragalia Lost is getting a rerun of Echoes of Antiquity raid event. With this raid event comes the event welfare unit Zhuanzeng, a flame land support unit. Her first skill, called Flame Incursion, deals 3 hits of 365% flame damage to enemies directly ahead, while debuffed foes will take 3 hits of 438% damage instead. Her second skill, Heaven's Binding, reduces the strength of the target and nearby enemies by 5% with a 70% base chance, and their defense by 10% for 20 seconds with a 70% base chance as well. However, the strength down and defense down will be rolled separately. I realize these may not seem like the greatest skills ever, but that is because she is a near 2-year-old unit releasing back in 2019 when the game was still new and not even 6 months old yet. Speaking of 6 months, a quick reminder that the 2.5-year anniversary starts at the end of this month, so be sure to come back next week for more information on the 2.5 anniversary of Dragalia Lost when more information is released. That is all for this week's Gacha News. I'm your co-host Sly, signing us off here for 5-9 Gaming. Enjoy Seihi and have a great weekend, everybody.